For more on this, we have Dr. Ooi San from Kuala Lumpur joining us live. He is the Senior Fellow at the Singapore Institute of International Affairs. Dr. Ooi, thank you so much for joining us. So Malaysia's political landscape, well, it has obviously changed with Anwar Ibrahim now Prime Minister, but he has a unity government. So in essence, is there anything new? Because those forming his unity government are not exactly new.
No, there were some of his traditional political rivals, or at least half of them are. And with the signing of this sort of unity agreement, it would appear that they were attempting to sort of clarify some of the relationship between and among these parties, which were, again, formerly political rivals.
So saying all that, how much concession do you think Mr. Anwar will have to deal with, especially as you mentioned, their political rivals?
Well, it will appear that in the unity agreement, the main provisions are about cabinet appointments. Namely, Anwar Ibrahim will have to consult the heads or chiefs of these coalition parties before he makes cabinet appointments, and similarly with dismissal from the cabinet and so on. And the other main provisions would be, in return, these other coalition parties would pledge their support towards him, Anwar Ibrahim, as the Prime Minister of Malaysia. So again, it's laying out what we sort of understood over the last 2 weeks, but now it's in black and white. Yeah.
Okay, so what can we expect from this unity government? What is the first thing that they will have to tackle?
Well, of course, number one is to maintain the political stability. Anwar faces a vote of confidence next Monday. Hopefully, he would be able to withstand or pass that vote of confidence, and that would hopefully win him some period of political stability, which he must use very carefully in order to revive the Malaysian economy. I think at the back of everybody's mind is indeed the high prices, as well as the jobs numbers, which are not high, as well as the ability to afford even normal livelihood items.
Well, indeed, these are bread and butter issues. How will Mr. Anwar's unity government then revise the country's budget, since all eyes will be on this?
Well, I think he has about a month to draft the next budget, which will be proposed either in late January or in early February. In that budget, I think, number one, he needs to tackle the ballooning government debt, how the government of Malaysia is going to repay some of those public debts. Number two, of course, would there be some measures which could stimulate the economy, hopefully, for example, some incentives for small and medium businesses, which could hopefully generate more jobs. And of course, the government will have to raise additional revenues for itself. How it would be able to do so without imposing too high taxes, which would in turn dampen the economy, I think that remains the challenge, namely to raise more revenues, but at the same time to stimulate the economy. Yeah.
Right. Dr. Oh, really quickly, Mr. Anwar's cabinet, we also know now is leaner. It has been downsized with fewer appointments. How will this work for the government?
Well, I think the cut in the cabinet size is largely symbolic, from around 32 to 28. But indeed, how would he make sure that these cabinet members, as well as other members of parliament, remain loyal to him, to support him as Prime Minister? I think he would really need to walk a very careful line in order to do so. Yeah.
Well, indeed. So all eyes will be definitely on Monday as well. Thank you so much. We've been speaking with Dr. Ooi San, Senior Fellow at Singapore Institute of International Affairs.